what attracted you to this project specifically, this show?
What attracted me to this show, it's been the first time, like, I started, I think, in 97, 98 as an actor. And, I mean, probably 95, 90, most of my career is you play the character who sits on the edge of the screens. And this was the first time. And edge meaning, like, I was the guy who kicked the lead in the face. I was the guy who blew up everybody, who was trying to kill everybody. And, there are things that you have to, you sit on the bench for. And this was the first character that I read. And going back to that, a lot of times being on the edge of the screen means that it's for me to be cast as an Asian American actor, the narrative is that it has something to do with your race. If it's a Chinatown episode, which is every CSI, every Law and Order, every, all those shows, while great in their own respect, have a Chinatown episode. I think I've done like 20 of them. And so this was the first show that narrative the narrative wasn't about race. It was about three human beings that intersected and had real relationships and had real feelings, and that was what intrigued me to the show.
Tess and Burton obviously have curiosity from their dreams, but you have more than just normal. You're a detective, so you're going to be probably your curiosity is probably piqued much more than theirs. And as you interact with them, how are you going to relate to their character, or how do you relate to their characters within the show, interacting with them, like Burton and Tess?
I mean, what I think is great, is fantastical and out of this world that pieces of the show is that there's three characters who are grounded in whatever they're dealing with, and I play this character he's a loner kind of character who has hunches, and he gets these hunches from his dreams, and it allows him to start solving different things. But the research I did is I'm sure you guys know, is like, a lot of the detectives, if they're at a murder scene or if they're dealing with something that's really bad, a lot of times they'll start talking, they'll have jokes, and they'll start talking about their kid's soccer game, and as I'm entering the dream world more, I'm shedding some of that detectiveness and becoming forced to having some connection and connectivity and being human.
So is it a different type of observation that you're using in the dream world to piece together what's happening and try to figure out where to go?
Yeah, it's I think at first it's one of those deja vu, like I feel like I've felt this or I've seen this, and then as we start moving in the series, things start becoming much clearer in the dream, and allows me to connect, I think, have a much harder line in connecting with the world.
Seeing these dreams actually visualized, talking with everybody else about how it seems to be a better experience to watch on a big screen. Do you agree with that the show should be watched on a big screen possibly?
When my wife watched it we had a link and we saw the pilot early, she was like, and she was on her phone and she was like on Instagram or whatever it was, and then we got to see it on the big screen, and it's not her kind of show, and she loved the show. So for me, I can watch it on a phone, but it is one of those, because of the visuals and because of the way things start getting connected, especially the imagery of water. Juan Carlos shot the heck out of the show.
You really feel the texture, actually.
Yeah, and a lot of pilots are like overblown $10 million pilots, and then you get to episode 2 and they're all stuck in an interrogation room. And I think the beauty of this, I've seen the first 5 episodes, is that it's seamless from pilot to second, third, fourth episode, and that's, I think, a rarity in television.
I think when Taka first runs into the cult, he has sort of that reaction. A lot of people are like, oh, they're a cult, they must be crazy. But as he progresses through episode 4, which we've seen, it feels like he almost relates to, especially the cult leader, as she's talking to him. Do you find that maybe he's seeing maybe a little sense in what they have going on? Or
I think part of it is too, though, is that this person has led me is leading me closer to my mom, which is forcing me to actually feel something again, and I think that's my attraction to her.
Guys, we're wrapped up. Thank you so much.
Thanks.